Welcome back to the ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing games. In this series, we're teaching you how to play Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. Specifically, in this video, we're going to teach you all about combat. Before I go into depth about the mechanics of a combat exchange, it's important to note that you don't always need to use the rules to resolve combat. Sometimes, a conflict can be resolved using other systems in the game. The Game Master will help you determine when this is the case. If it's immediately clear who will win the fight, then there isn't a point to rolling dice. Just narrate the outcome and keep the conversation moving. If the stakes are low or the fight isn't interesting enough, then you can just resolve the combat using a rely on your skills and training or push your luck roll. If it's decided that neither of those situations apply, then it's time to use the combat exchange rules. Like the name implies, a single combat exchange represents a series of strikes or dodges and blocks. Each exchange is more than just their characters making a single action on their turn. When an exchange starts, the Game Master should describe the environment, who is fighting, and which fighters are engaged with each other. Distance in a fight is abstracted, so you mostly just want to know who you're engaged with and how close the other engagements are. Each combat exchange, every character will choose one of 3 approaches. These approaches determine when you act and what techniques you can use. The 3 approaches are: defend and maneuver. This is you assuming a defensive stance or changing position. You'll act first and roll with focus. Advance and attack. This is you moving on your opponent and trying to strike them directly. You'll act second and roll with passion. Evade and observe. This is you dodging blows and watching what others are doing. You'll move third and roll with creativity or harmony. You'll also clear 1 fatigue. The players who chose a particular approach will act first and can act in whatever order they choose. Then the Game Master will have the NPCs act. On your turn, you'll roll with the stat for your stance, and on a weak hit, you can use a basic or master technique. A strong hit will let you mark 1 fatigue and use a learn technique, use 1 practice technique, or use 2 different basic or master techniques. A miss means you can use a basic technique, but you have to shift your balance to do so. NPCs will always use a number of techniques equal to their current balance rating plus 1. All characters have access to the 9 basic techniques. There are 3 for each approach. Defend and maneuver has ready, retaliate, and seize a position. Advance and attack has strike, pressure, and smash. Evade and observe has test balance, bolster or hinder, and commit. The exact rules for each of these techniques is in Chapter 5 of the core rulebook, and on the combat exchange sheet in the appendix. Characters will also have different techniques that they have access to from character creation, or may have learned over the course of a campaign. Each of the different trainings have different techniques, so give them a read as well. A lot of different techniques will inflict or remove different statuses. There are 4 negative statuses: doomed, mark 1 fatigue every exchange; impaired, mark 1 fatigue or take -2 to all physical actions; trapped, mark 3 conditions or fatigue to escape; and stunned, you can't act until the next exchange. There are also 4 positive statuses: empowered, clear 1 fatigue every exchange; favored, use another basic or master technique during the next exchange; inspired, shift your balance; and prepared, take +1 to an appropriate action or avoid marking a condition. A single exchange will follow 7 steps. 1. The Game Master will choose an approach for each of the NPCs and keep their choices secret. 2. Each player will choose their approaches. They can discuss with each other and make these decisions collaboratively. 3. The Game Master will reveal the approaches of each NPC. 4. The players who chose defend and maneuver will make their roll and use their technique in any order they choose. Afterwards, NPCs will use their defend and maneuver techniques. 5. The same process will happen for characters who chose to advance and attack. 6. The same process will also happen for characters who chose to evade and observe. And 7. Characters that have been taken out or lost their balance should resolve those effects. After an exchange is completed, you might move right into another exchange, but make sure to leave room in the conversation for characters to take other actions if they want. If a fight is going poorly, they might try to plead and get the opponent to back off, or they might just run away entirely. Those are the basics of combat in Avatar Legends. Next video, we go over character advancement and talk about learning new moves and techniques. Keep on learning, and we'll see you in the next video.